Okay guys, let us see the demo how the Unity catalog works. So Unity catalog architecture is these three levels: catalog, schema, and table. So it's generated as catalog.schema.table. This is how you refer it. So catalog is a top level container for organizing data by environments and business units. Okay. Schema is bronze, silver, gold layers. It's a logical grouping inside the catalog. And then there is a actual objects. It's a table or file or whatever you have created. On those objects, you will basically define the governance. Like you want to implement a row level security, column level security, you want certain dynamic security, like by writing some functions like attribute based access controls. All those things you can define on the objects. So let's see, like there are a couple of ways to do it. One is in using the notebooks. Another is using the graphical interface. So both ways we can configure it. So here you will see, like right now I'm inside the notebook. So in the notebook we can, like, just at a high level, just to give you the idea, we'll be referring to this one, Databricks.sidekick. We'll import this workspace client, and then generally we can get the objects. So that's one thing. Now to create the catalog, we can use these commands: create catalog, not exist. This will create the catalog. Then to explore the details of the catalogs, we can run commands like describe catalog extended. So I have run these commands, so I'll just show you the what is the output to save some time. Run it again and again. So when we run this, like it shows the catalog name, owner, catalog type, created by, all these details. Then see if it is enabled and what's the metastore information. So metastore information is actually shows you where this thing is actually. It's in AWS. Right? You can run this kind of select statements. Then get catalog details. We can get it using information schema by querying this one. So that will give us the details. Now once we have this catalog, we can create the schema inside the catalog. So right now here we are creating the schema, and then here we are just verifying the three-level namespace. Here it shows that in this catalog we have this sales schema, and then we have the sales table. So this is the general architecture. Then for raw files, here they have the concept of volume. Like if you have worked in other environments like Microsoft Fabric, for example, they have in their graphical interface, they show separately, like files and tables and all. Here they have the concept of volumes. So we are creating the volumes here like this. So just to give you some general idea that these are all the like Spark SQL statements we can write and create these objects here. So this should help you, like once I just want to show you the interface right now. This is not to learn anything like how to, like, step by step going through it, but this is a precursor video for the next video. We will prepare on how to prepare for the job interview and how to get the job, what are technical concepts they can ask on this and how to answer those things. Okay, so right now we'll just familiarize ourselves with the interface. That's the only purpose here. That's why I'm not going by running each and every cell, and not trying to demo all the step-by-step things. So this is how we just saw at a very high level how to create the catalog schemas and then volume and then how to refer to it. Then another notebook I have is here it's understand data classification, data quality monitoring. This one we can go here. We can select the catalog from here. For example, the catalog, and I have my catalog. This one, and in my catalog, I'm just showing you what the interface looks like. And then we have this. And inside the cells we have all these tables, so we can for example any of this, for example customers. In the details here we can like data quality monitoring we can enable or disable. So this is some of the things are available here. So if you don't want to do it by manual coding, you can go here and then see what all permissions are on this this volume. They have given permissions here. So coming back here, so here they are showing like how to enable it. Go to catalog, enable the classification, select catalog, and then enable details tab. So like this is just to familiarize yourself. Then if we go to the next table creation management, here overall objective, let's read this one. How to create the manage tables, explore the table properties, and how to see the drop behavior. What will be the drop behavior? So in here you can see that to create the manage tables, we can once we are in that catalog, we have executed the commands like you use this catalog and use this schema, and then we have this one. These commands we can say create and replace table, select this. So from this file we are creating this table. So this is a managed table because we are inside the catalog and schema. Same way we are creating couple of tables here. Order table, supplier table. Here by default is the delta table. But if we want to use iceberg, we can use iceberg. We can create the iceberg tables like this. You can see with select statements, this is nothing new here. Describing the tables. these are all mostly select statements, not much that we want to focus on. So I am running very quickly. So to see the drop behavior, like when we say drop table customers, now we know that this thing is managed by Unity catalog, and so they have the data they are also managing, metadata also they are managing. So when we say drop, they will do both. Versus like if it is externally managed table, then only metadata is in their control and they can only delete the metadata. Data will remain as it is because data won't be in their control, it will be just the metadata. So then we can see like if we run this show tables, it will say nothing found. Then if we run this undrop command as well like this, and then it will bring it back. So it will recreate the metadata. Another thing is like if we have that couple of times if we did the drop and recreate and all, then we can see this table ID here. When we say like show tables drop, it will show us all the tables, and then we have this table ID here. So with this table ID we can say that bring this particular table back. So we can say undrop this table, so to bring this particular table, so this particular version we can think of it like that. Then access control permissions. So in this notebook we are going to see like what is their permission model in Unity catalog. We can grant and remove permissions. We can test with different groups, show grants. So to see this one, first is set up environment. There's nothing granting and giving permission. So grant permissions, these are all like normal SQL type commands. Like we can say grant catalog, use catalog permission on this, browse permission on this. So this is like use catalog means access to catalog, create table means ability to create. So these are a couple of these kind of commands are available. You can execute it in the notebook. You can select like this grant, show grants. You can revoke permissions with the revoke command. Permission auditing. We can see like what privileges are there for that particular table by querying this information schema. That is, we can query like this and we'll see this. Revoke query table privilege, nothing new here. Now, how to give fine-grained security permissions. Now, this is sometimes important. Like people nowadays, they ask a lot about this one. How do you give like row level permission, column level security? How do you make sure that certain data is visible to only certain group of people? How do you secure the data? So, how do you mask the data? How do you mask the sensitive information? How do you tag it? All that thing. So that we can do it using this one. Selecting the catalog. Now this is select. Now to apply the fine-grained security in Unity Catalog, see, we can do this one. We can use the security functions. So we can build the functions, SQL functions that define the access, logic, and data filtering rules. So basically, once we write the function, we can apply that function on any other objects. And this is also very popular nowadays. ABAC policies, ABAC policies. So this is attribute-based policies that evaluate user context and data attributes. So this is like dynamically it will apply the policy, like it will see who is accessing it from where and that kind of things, and then it will decide like what, whether it should be allowed or it should not be allowed. So this can be very useful when particularly when we are trying to do the governance for AI. Something like ChatGPT or cloud is trying to access the data. And these things are very important. Because at that time you might want to see like dynamically figure it out. So for example, here they have given the function here, like how to create the row filter function. Create function like create a replace function name here, parameters, and what do we want to do, what do we want to return, right? So these conditions. So this way we can apply create the function. Same way for masking function, column masking function. How do you mask the column? We can create the function return address or mask it, right? Same way RBAC policy. This is very much in fashion nowadays. So how do you create this kind of policy? So we can say like create or replace policy. There is the policy on this schema, comment filter out nations for non-HR users. And we can write this column. So this is the row filtering. Same way we can do the column masking. So same way we can define policies. And then there are govern tags. So we can tag certain things as like it's a PII, for example. We can define the tag here. The address is PII, like that kind of things. So that also we can do it here with SQL. And then here we are testing it. So when we say select star from this customers, you can see here that the address is masked here. And this entire column is not, it shows null here. Same way for supplier table. Address is visible here. This column is not visible. The entire column is null. So this is what happens when we apply the fine-grained permissions here. So yeah, this is at a high level. I just wanted to show you the interface. So again, the interface, one is we can set it up things in using the notebook, Spark SQL, and we can also do the, there are a lot of things here, like this we have this tables customers, for example. Customers, we have all these permissions here. We can see our permissions are here. It shows the lineage. You can see it as a graph. So yeah, at a high level, this is where you will actually come and set up configure the security, finding permissions and access controls and all data governance. So general, to give you the revise this thing again, you'll have the catalog, schema, tables, volumes. This is for the raw files, and also the tracking and checkpoint and all that thing. So yeah, next time if you have any questions that you think they might ask you in the interview, particularly we will prepare a podcast for the interview and how to get the job for data governance using EBT catalog. Then we will see if you have any questions, send it to me. I'll try to we'll create the podcast using the normal LM, so the English will be more polished and more clear to like larger audience. Something may have my accent may not be for some, so we'll try to cover all the questions. So if you have any questions, send it to me. Thanks.